Good evening everybody and welcome to the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel for a live stream of some Gran Turismo Sport action. Hello everybody, my name is Trevor and it's week 2 for our Club100 Gran Turismo Sport series. Hope you're doing well. Hope if it's your first time on the channel, welcome along. We're going to start off with some thank yous to a whole host of people who subscribed to the channel this time last week who went on to absolute crackers if you missed them. So do go watch that. So big thank you to Jack CD, Kill Crazy, Aki, Tony W, Elkeat6, Dave Dunn, DI Trade 44 and BQS Sparks. Thank you so much guys for subscribing. I hope you enjoy your time here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. You can get involved with us tonight in the chat. Keep an eye on the chat, keep all the screens, eyes on all the screens tonight, because it should be another fantastic night of racing, and we are going to be able to get to qualifying shortly for the start of Lobby 1. Let's have a very, very brief look just as we kick things off. And remind ourselves of the championship situations. If I can find them. There we go. So Premier Class looks a little bit like this. Nathan Maximin leads after week 1. Callum Marshall 2nd. Ryan Sandall 3rd. Kireth Kalirai 4th. Trevor Randall 5th. The big things to note that we'll talk about later on. Steve Brown and Luke Battersby have both elected to change cars in GT3. So they've both been handed 15-point penalties. But still a long way of the season to go. And here we are tonight. Blue Moon Oval for the first race and then Red Bull Ring for the second race. As I say, qualifying getting away for that first race in a short few moments time. That's kind of where we are tonight. It's the same cars as last week. The Mazda Roadster Touring car for the first race and then the GT3s of choice for each of the drivers in the second race. Here's your field, unchanged from last week. Ryan and Callum in the blue team, Trevor and Luke in purple team. Tim and Rob Dowsett looking to bounce back in the F-types in yellow team this week. Callum Marshall, who was very impressive on his debut in week 1 with Martyn Robinson in pink team. Nathan Maximin and Mark Rudd out in team orange. Kireth after that debut win last week with Sam in the green group. And then Jack Cameron Drayton and Steve Brown, aka Super GT, in Team Quadrant Black. Right, let's see if we can go across to qualifying. Here we are with the beginnings of qualifying, and you can already see what tonight's going to be about in this Blue Moon race. Slipstreaming and pack racing. We've even got some NASCAR-inspired liveries out there tonight, so let's check some of them out before we get going. We'll look at ruzzwald there, Ryan Sandall on your screen. Here's a good effort from Luke Battersby. Luke, of course, as we mentioned, has changed car for his Group 3 race. There we go, running the old Jaguar colours, inspired there, and a big old 19 on his car as well. Yes, Callum Brewell, who's gone for a different livery. Okay, split liveries then in terms of Team Blue. Blue is their main colour. Martyn Robinson. Here's the inside livery. And that one for Team Pink. Kireth Kalirai, Kireth Kart in the chat. He's got a 46 on and a brilliant victory last week, of course. Repeat that for Frey Wentos Racing. He's wait and see, still a long way in this qualifying session to go. We're over 5 minutes. You can see that time's currently under 1 minute. Trevor Randall currently the fastest driver. Nathan Maximin, I'd say the driver in form at the moment in this lobby, this first lobby of the class. And we can go and see the club class competition in action as well, going right now in the commentary YouTube channel. Nathan Maximin's actually just taken to 2nd place there, so that's good work from him. Jack Cameron Drayton in this one. All marks back to Dale Earnhardt back in the day there. Very nicely indeed in the number 85. Sam Dimolo did a fantastic team job last week as part of that win for Team Green from Racing at Monza. It was a big part of it. You can see that he's that's fixed things at your end. But Sam Dimolo did a very, very cool job last week for Kireth. Took some big points. And at the moment, it is Super GT in his quadrant livery who is top of the timesheets at the moment with a 50.393. He is right at the front of the train though at the moment, which isn't going to be helping him at the moment. He's not getting any kind of slipstream. He is giving a decent one though to his Team Black teammate, Team Quadrant teammate, Jack Cameron Drayton. Is anyone going quicker at this stage of qualifying? You can see, yeah, a few drivers going quickly actually, including Trevor Randall, who's popped himself up to 3rd. Super GT now pulling out of that slipstream and trying to get behind somebody else now. In fact, he's behind one of the Team Pink cars. Here we're having a quick look at Trevor Randall, who's got Sam Dimolo right up behind him, pushing him along at the moment. Up through the first sector is Randall at the moment in the number 2. We'll be getting a little bit of a toe off Callum Brewell ahead of him. Let's see as they come back round. Just less than 3 minutes of this qualifying session to go. Lots of people jumping around. In fact, Brewell has gone to pole position in the Napa number 4. So great work from Brewell. He's 1,000th of a second quicker than Super GT at the moment. That is how close it is across this field. 2 minutes 20 to go, so still a couple of chances for drivers to pop good laps in. At the front of all of this is Martyn Robinson. Oh, I think Jack Cameron Drayton was up in the wall there. That's not going to help his time. Look out for Callum behind as well. Callum Marshall, who said was very, very impressive last week. Jack Cameron Drayton checks down, doesn't want to be at the head of this pack. Everyone's trying to jostle together now to get in the perfect position to get a slipstream on the last lap. Still probably got, what, at least two full laps with time still on the clock. So I reckon this is 3 to go. 3 laps for these drivers to go, and you don't want to be at the front of the order. Callum Brewell's actually pulled off circuit. He's happy where he is. He doesn't think he can go any quicker than that and doesn't want to be helping other drivers. So that might be a bit of a shrewd move by Brewell there. Nathan Maximin is now the driver at the front of the field. He doesn't want to be there. Kireth's now found himself at the front of the field. As I say, I'm not sure anyone will be going any quicker at this stage. Looks like Mark Ridout's had an issue. Marky Boy 92. Hopefully he can make the final. Does Kireth go any quicker here? No, he doesn't. Still more than a minute to go. Rob Dowsett's gone slightly quicker. There he is in P12. If you can make him out there in the Pennzoil livery. Whoa, gets a big wobble there through turn number 1. Now they're all trying to find the right spot. Nobody wants to be the leader going on to what will be the final lap for all of these drivers in this qualifying session. Callum Brewell still in pole position. Super GT, Steve Brown in P2, needing to find just 0.02 of a second to take that pole position. He's got Trevor Randall just up behind him. Round again. Martyn Robinson is the driver now, unluckily at the front of this pack. That's not where he wants to be, and he's down in 11th place at the moment in the order. Is anyone going quicker? Looks like Ryan Sandall has gone a little bit quicker. Super GT's pulled out of it. Super GT doesn't want to give anyone the tow, so he's happy with his time. Can anybody go quicker on this final lap of qualifying here at Blue Moon Bay? There is Sam Dimolo, who's currently up in a brilliant third position. Could he be the driver to take pole position here? He's in a decent spot as well at the back of the pack. He'll be getting a lot of slipstream. Trevor Randall's checked out. He's not going any quicker on this particular lap. We're keeping an eye here on Dimolo, but no, he's slower. He's definitely slower. What's Nathan Maximin doing in P6, championship leader? I don't think anyone's going to take away that pole position from Callum Brewell, but here we go, the run to the line. Is anyone going to take it? A couple of fast laps at the end there from Rob Dowsett and Luke Battersby, but it is pole position for Callum Brewell here at Blue Moon Bay. Steve Brown, aka Super GT, P2. Sam Dimolo, great form again there, second row for him. Trevor Randall, P4. Ryan Sandall, P5. Nathan Maximin, P6. Kireth Kalirai, P7. Rob Dowsett sneaked in there with 8th place. But that was qualifying. Now it's all down to the race. 20-minute race, this one. Potentially going to be one of the most unpredictable races of the year. Here is your grid. Brewell and Brown on the front row. Dimolo and Trevor Randall there on row 2. Getting ready then here at Blue Moon Bay. And away we go then for the start of this one. And hang on, I think we've had a lobby problem here. Yeah, because I think Callum Brewell has disappeared and everyone's doing donuts. So, apologies, something's gone awry here. And it looks like we're having a restart for Mark Ridout. So, we'll just let the lobby get back up to speed. There's Ryan Sandall on the grid there. A couple of drivers having connection issues there, which we want to try and get sorted as soon as possible. Come back to us here in the box. Hello everybody. Let's have a look at some of your comments so far. Apologies for the audio issues at the start, guys. Hopefully we've got them sorted now. This is where my monitoring system back into my ears isn't very good. Need to get that one improved. But yeah, very good week last week. In fact, yeah, let's have a reminder back to last week. Let's also talk the Clubman class as well, because that is going on, of course. So here were your results from last week. Nathan Maximin winning race 1. Kireth Kalirai with that fantastic victory in number 2. Apologies, just trying to get things in terms of the lobby back up and running for you. Callum Marshall, as we said, was very impressive across the course of his first appearance in this series. There are your championship points. Maximum taking an early lead. Runner-up in the championship for seasons 1 of 2, of course. Looking to go one step better this time around. Callum Marshall, second place. Reigning champion Ryan Sandall in third. Kireth Kalirai in fourth. Trevor Randall fifth. Callum Brewell sixth. We'll still have pole position for the first race once we do get that up and underway. Coming up, of course, as well, after this week, we've still got 2 more weeks to go. Sardinia and a trip to Le Mans on the order books for next week, and then Maggiore and Interlagos to finish off. I've still got to get through this week, of course, and everything that's going to be happening with this one. In fact, whilst we're also waiting for the lobby to get going, there's a fair amount of info to let you know about in terms of coming up on the channel. Next week, the start of 2 double headers midweek for sim racing action. This series, the GTS Season 3, rounds 5 and 6 on the 23rd, followed up by our next round of the iRacing Legends of Club 100 and BUKC. That'll be the 24th. We're hoping to bring you some action from Sebring as well, some competing action on the 27th for the big special event there, the iRacing Sebring 12 Hours, and then the following week, same again, double header of Gran Turismo Sport on the Tuesday night, iRacing on the Wednesday night, the culmination of Season 3 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport season, Season 3 that is, and then Round 4 of the iRacing Legends of Club 100 and BUKC, where the new circuit on iRacing, the Hockenheim Ring, will be our venue for that one. Right, let's see if we can get back into the lobby after those unfortunate issues. Do bear with us, folks. But if that all sounds like action that you want to get involved with, you know what to do. Press that subscribe button. Phil Houghton thinks the current top 3 will be the top 3 at the end of the season. I think that's a good shout. That is a good shout. Obviously, with Sandall and Maximin, we've seen them be the top 2 for the last 2 seasons. And Callum Marshall, very impressive last week. And as we saw at Monza, get a good run. And any of these drivers are capable of winning races. It was Kireth last week. Could easily be the likes of a Trevor Randall or Martyn Robinson or any of the others as we go through the course of the season. And I was having a quick watch of Steve Brown's video as well, where he openly admitted that he was a bit low on the old practice, and that was one of the reasons why he wasn't quite up to the speed that he wanted to be at. Right, I think we can cut back into the lobby. Let's see if we can pick up the action. Callum Marshall can't be driving the wrong way. I'm not sure that's allowed. It's just practice after all. If you are enjoying the stream, do press that like button. Do share it around as well. Let people know that we're here this evening, streaming the second week of action for the Premier class. Yes, we're definitely just waiting for drivers to join the lobby, having a bit of fun out there. Maybe getting the Gymkhana skills up to scratch. Can see that Mark Rudout is now with us in the lobby, which is good news. Nice J-turn there from Trevor Randall. There is Mark Rudout, Marky Boy 92. Finalist in GT Academy in years gone by. He's competed very, very well in this series. Good to see him back here for another week. Didn't have the happiest of times at Monza, was a little bit unlucky with the penalties, which ruined his race a little bit, but he'll be looking to bounce back here, especially with this first race, Blue Moon Bay. And if there is a race probably this season to have that kind of issue in terms of not being able to qualify, this is probably the race, because all of the slipstream that's going to be available to the drivers could mean that someone like Rudout could come all the way from the back. It will be a long race, of course, 20 minutes. Whilst this is all going on, this will just give us more opportunities to check out the liveries. Loving the Pennzoils being back. We'll see them on the Jags later as well in the Group 3 cars. This, I think, has to be the best effort, though. Look at the sheer number of sponsors on the purple cars this week. That is very, very nicely done, and in NASCAR fashion by Trevor Randall, Trevisio. It looks like we are going back into racing then. Hopefully this time we'll have a cleaner start for round 3 of Season 3 for the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sports Series. Here's your grid. Callum Brewell ahead of Steve Brown Super GT. Sam Dimolo, Wolmid in 3rd. Trevor Randall there in 4th. Can Brewell convert this pole position into a strong result here at Blue Moon Bay? Focusing on getting a good launch here. 20 minutes on the clock. And away we go then here at Blue Moon Bay for what is probably going to be one of the craziest races of the year. Good start for Callum Brewell. He retains the lead. Steve Brown slots straight in behind Brewell there, but immediately goes to the high side. This first 10 minutes of this race, I think, is just going to be about keeping yourselves alive, not having any incidents at this stage of the race. Super GT to the head of the field then. Sam Dimolo just behind. Ryan Sandall's had a decent start. He's already up to 3rd place. Nathan Maximin in 4th. The rest of them filing behind 2 by 2 in the midfield there. Tim Clark in the middle of all of that. Luke Battersby as well. 3 wide. Oh, and the 2 purple cars getting into one another there. Randall and Battersby leaning on one another, and Kireth Kalirai up the inside as well. Drivers do need to work together. They must make sure that they don't lose the slipstream early on. There is Super GT. Oh, he's in the wall. Super GT riding up in the wall there. And somebody's off as well towards the back of the field. Who was that? Who's gone off? It's Marshall. It's Callum Marshall. Let's have a look at that and see what happened there. This was coming into turn 1. Marshall was running in P9. In the middle of the pack there. Did he get a bit of encouragement? Oh yeah, he got into the green car there, which I think was Kireth Kalirai, into the wall. So that is one of the big contenders in this championship, in trouble already on, well, not even at the end of lap number 2. Not good news at all. Back at the front of the field, Ryan Sandall is now at the front, although as I say that, Nathan Maximin to the front and Sam Dimolo on the low side there, making things work in his number 71. Look at Trevor Randall here on the high side. Son of a gun on the front of his car. He'll be liking this at the moment. As I say, still a very, very long way in this race to go. Both of the purple cars trying to work together now. Can they be hitting those purple sectors in this stage of the race? Still all quite tightly packed, apart from the unfortunate Callum Marshall, who's out towards the back now. Pulsar to Callum Brewell is now down to 10th place. Tim Clark at the back there as well. Can they all make it through turn 2 this time? Yes, they can. So Maximin to the lead of the race now. Randall in 2nd, Luke Battersby in 3rd. Ryan Sandall at P4, side by side between Dimolo and Brown. Brown just getting ahead there. The Super GT fans will like that one. He's up to 5th place. Jack Cameron Drayton coming as well there in 6th place. So the 2 team quadrant drivers working together nicely at this stage of the race. Oh, is that another driver being spat out the back there? No, I think everybody is okay. Saying that, Mark Ridout's off towards the back as well, so he's had some form of problem. He's desperately trying to get back in the slipstream. He's 2.3 seconds down on the rest of the field at the moment. So he is in danger of being dropped now. Kireth Kalirai currently at the back of the larger bit of the pack. I say that, he's just got back ahead of RaceDreamerRob, Rob Dowsett there. 4 minutes gone of this 20-minute race. And oh, big incident towards the front there. I think just about Trevor Randall kept it all together. I think it was Trevor Randall having the moment there. Let's have another look at that. So it's as they were coming through turn number 3. Two purple cars in second and third. Oh, it's the two purple cars getting together. And it was Battersby who nearly lost it there. And was very, very unfortunate. I think he is still in the pack. That was a very, very close moment. Two teammates getting together there on the latter part of lap number 5. So yes, Battersby is still there. He's in 8th place, but this has already started to get pretty rough out there, and we're only 5 minutes into a 20-minute race. 3 wide nearly underneath Battersby. Kalirai and Dowsett in there. Nathan Maximin still holding nicely at the front of the field. Nobody really wanting to take the lead away from him at this stage of the race, which is understandable in oval racing. We are on lap 7. To the low side goes Ryan Sandall, and just as I say that, he has taken the lead of the race. Trevor Randall down to the apron. Can he get a bit of a lane going? 3 wide, now 2 wide as Randall checks, Sandall rather, checks back behind Trevor Randall. And uses that lane to get past Nathan Maximin. So good work there. Jack Cameron Drayton continues to do good things as well. In 4th place, he's now got the low side. In fact, may have the lead at the end of this lap, as we're nearly 3-4 wide, is it, as they're coming over start finish. The high side run does look pretty good there off of turn 3. Keep that in mind for the rest of this race. Drivers navigating turn 1 again. Oh no, I think we've lost a couple. We've lost a couple behind at the back there, and unfortunately looks like it's Luke Battersby, and I think Jack Cameron Drayton was involved there as well. Oh yeah, it was the big one happening here at Blue Moon Bay, and taking out 2 drivers there who were running towards the front of the field. And that is the end of their races. So how many left? How many left in this pack? In fact, we've lost another 3 as well, because Brewell and Brown have fallen off the back. At least they've got Mark Ridd out there, so they have got a chance maybe of pulling back in. There's another car that looks to be stuck in pit lane. What has happened there to Sam Dimolo? Let's have a look back at that. Well, that's just the end of the incident we've caught there as he's spinning into the pit lane. Not quite fully into pit lane though. So he doesn't have to go all the way through. That's quite bizarre really for Dimolo, but it means he's out of this race now in terms of any positions that can be talked about at the end of the race with any sort of pride. Back at the front then, Martyn Robinson has come to the head of the field now. He's battling for the lead with Ryan Sandall as they approach the end of lap number 9. Ruzzwald and Martyn are 7-1-8 there. In fact, Robinson into the lead, scored as the leader, being helped by Trevisio. Trevor Randall just behind. Randall to the low side will have the lead off of turn number 1. You can see that trio behind of Brewell, Brown and Ridout desperately trying to work together at the moment to catch up this front pack. This is classic oval racing now. Well, you've got to give your fellow drivers the respect to keep going round, because nobody wins this kind of race at the midway stage. It's all about trying to keep yourself in play for the last couple of laps. Randall still leading. Sandall on the outside. Maximin still there as well. End of lap number 10. I thought for Trevor Randall and the other championship contenders as well, the likes of Nathan Maximin and Ryan Sandall, is of course one of their big contenders based off the results of week number 1, is out of this race already. They've got to take advantage of this in what's thought to be going to be a very close-knit thing across the course of the season. Tim Clark on the outside there. He's in a spot of bother because he's not got any help. Well, he didn't have any help, but he's now getting some from Kireth Kalirai behind. But both of the Magic Man and El Diablo cars, the yellow team, having a better run of it so far in this one. 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go, end of lap 11, so there'll probably be another 12 laps on the basis of that first half of the race. Randall to the low side, we've seen him do that a couple of times already, and to the lead of the race. Can he hold it coming off turn 1 though? No, he can't. Sandall chops back ahead. Tim Clark trying to make the second lane work once again for him. He looks to have got a better run this time out of turn number 1. Things look to have broken down in the second group. Super GT there now in 8th place. Callum Brewell in 9th. The gap to the big group ahead is 2.3 seconds, so they're not in the slipstream at this stage of the race. There's Jack Cameron Drayton. Unfortunately, he's got a very lonely race now in 11th. Luke Battersby in 12th, 13th and 14th now for Dimolo and Marshall. They'll keep going though, because still a long way in this race to go. Could gain a position here or there towards the end of it. Back with our leaders. Ruzzwald, Ryan Sandall at the front of this field. Here comes Martyn Robinson again. He's trying the Tim Clark move around the outside. Minutes of this one to go. Keep your comments coming in the chat. Let us know who you're supporting this evening for round 3 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series. This 3rd season of the competition. A very different race for us here this evening. You've got to think at this stage it's going to be one of these 7 drivers if they can keep things together for the remaining 8.5 minutes. We've lost half of the pack. There's things going on behind as well between Brown, Brewell and Ridout. What is that gap between 7th and 8th? Yeah, it's going out actually. It's 2.7 seconds now for this group. They're going in the wrong direction, unfortunately. It's a real shame for Team Black, the Team Quadrant cars, because they looked good at the start of this one. Brown having qualified on the front row. Jack Cameron Drayton towards the front of the field in the early stages as well, but it looks like it's going to be disappointment again for this team. We've still got race 4, round 4 rather, later on this evening in the Group 3s. Back with the leaders. Sandall once again leading off of turn number 1. Randall just behind. Maximin now to the outside. There he is in the orange and black car. Big potential race this as well for Team Yellow. Magic Man and El Diablo. I'm just going to remind myself where they were in terms of points. They'd scored 24 points at the end of week number 1. Current team standings leaders in the Premier class being Team Orange on 60 points. The combination of Maximin and Ridout. Looking a bit further back, there are still some good battles going on towards the bottom end of the order. CRG Malak M. Callum Marshall has got past Sam Dimlo, and it looks like they're starting to reel in Luke Battersby, who's on his own at the moment, unfortunately. He's 3.4 seconds down on Jack Cameron Drayton, who's a long way back, unfortunately, the second group of cars on the road. Brewell now in 10th place. Ridout and Brown 9th and 8th respectively, and 3.2 seconds now the gap. 6 minutes to go. Still this top 7 just trying to keep themselves organised at this precise moment. Ryan Sandall just quite happy at the moment to sit at the front of the field, not do anything too desperate. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go then. The 1 and the 2. 1 and 2 on the road here as Martyn Robinson just looks to the lower lane there. It's blocked off by Trevor Randall, who he's quite happy with that, I think, at the moment, just to sit in that second place. He seems to like the low line, although he has lost second place now to Nathan Maximin, so maybe Randall got a little bit distracted there by Martyn Robinson. And now there is actually a little bit of a gap. Now this is going to be interesting over the next couple of corners. Can the two championship rivals at this stage of the race not be rivals and work together? Can they get a bit of a gap ahead of the rest of the field and then fight out for first and second later in the race? No, it looks like Trevor Randall's responded really nicely, kept in that slipstream and closed that gap back up. Held himself there in third place. That was a crucial couple of corners for Trevor Randall in the context of this race. 4.5 minutes to go, on to lap number 19. Currently predicting about 23 laps. Might sneak into 24. We'll wait and see on that one. Randall using the low line. Whoa, again, and nearly a bit of contact between himself and... Yeah, well, I think there was a tiny little piece of contact there between second and third place. Onto bumper cam now with Trevor Randall. Nathan Maximin just ahead of us there in the number 31. You can see how close it is out there. Looks like Martyn Robinson's trying to go round the outside there. Board with Trevor Randall. Let's see what he's doing here on this lower line. Yeah, he does get a good run. I think he's trying to just hold the apron side of the racetrack. When we go here into turn 2 and turn 3, yeah, you just see keeping his nose underneath Martyn Robinson there. Tim Clark trying to force through as well. Here comes the slipstream now. Still in this phase of the race where it's just about keeping yourself at the front in this front pack, and then you start fighting on the last couple of laps, maybe even leaving it to the last lap here this evening. Lap 21 then. We may be going, but actually, yeah, beyond 23 laps. It might be on to a 24-lap race here. Just cutting back to the second group. Mark Ridout still there in... well, actually, no, it's got up to 8th place now. It's got past Steve Brown and Callum Brewell. Jack Cameron-Drayton still on his own. And, in fact, we've got a three-way scrap at the back of the field now between Battersby, Marshall and Dimolo. All racing for points, of course. Not just for themselves, but their respective teams. 2 minutes to go. Story of this race so far. These 7 drivers fought their way through a bit of a chaotic first 5 minutes or so, which saw a number of drivers drop out. And you can see how fiercely everyone is fighting to keep on Ryan Sandall's rear bumper, who's, I mean, pretty much led this race solely for the last 10 minutes, maybe even more. Just seems quite happy and quite calm at the front of the field, which is what you'd come to expect of our reigning champion. Some news from the Clubmans. Clubmans was won by Alex Wilmot, who went from 4th to 1st in the last corner. That's a potential sign of things to come. End of lap number 23, going on to... no, well, this is lap 23, so yes, it will be a 24-lap race then. Here is when we start to see the positioning. Sandall chops across the front there, aggressively, wants to keep that low side down to the apron, does not want to let anybody underneath him. Maximin giving a bit of a bump draft there. Quite happy with that one. So it's Sandall, Maximin, Randall, Clark, Robinson, Dowsett and Kalirai. It's going to be one of these 7, you'd imagine, to win this race. We're going on to the last lap now here at Blue Moon Bay for round 3 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series, Season 3 of competition. Can Ryan Sandall hold out here, the reigning champion, the 2-time champion? Hasn't had a win so far this season, and would love to do that here at Blue Moon Bay. He's got a good run off of turn number 1. He'll chop down again. This is what he's done for pretty much the entirety of this race. Has managed it very, very well, but he's got 2 corners to go. Will anyone send a big one on the high side? This is the time to do it. No more chances after this lap. Nobody's made the move out of turn 2, but Maximin's looking to the outside now as they go through turn 3. And Randall's there as well. It's going to be the sprint to the line now. Can Ryan Sandall take his first win of the season here at Blue Moon Bay? It's going to be very, very close on the line, but it is going to be a win for the champion. Ryan Sandall takes his first victory of the season ahead of title rival Nathan Maximin in P2. Trevor Randall gets his best result of the year so far in 3rd. 4th, a good return there for Tim Clark after his issues at Monza. A very, very nice race indeed. A very happy number 1 car. Ryan Sandall, your winner of round number 3 here at Blue Moon Bay. Well, very, very interesting start to proceedings here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back for round number 4 shortly, which will be our Group 3 race around the Red Bull Ring. Keep it here, locked on the channel, and we'll be back very, very soon. Welcome back everybody to live coverage of the third and fourth rounds, the second week of this third season of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sports Series. Andrew Mather from Double Dash Motorsport Media with you here through the entire evening, and we're getting ready shortly for our second race of the evening, the feature race of the evening, the fourth round of the championship. Reverse grid as well, same as last week. And this driver here, Kireth Kalirai, took advantage of that reverse grid last week superbly to take his first victory at this level. I was very happy about it indeed. Just to say as well, quite a few of our drivers have their own YouTube channels, Kireth being one of them, is live streaming his point of view tonight. So if you have got another screen, a spare screen, do have his stream on if you want. And I know Luke Battersby as well is streaming his point of view tonight. And we talked about changes of car earlier in the stream. This is one of them. So we saw last week the Corvette was very, very strong around Monza, but Battersby has decided he wants to go in that Corvette as well. Does mean he takes a points penalty for the season of 15 points. That's 15 points. But at least he's made that decision. In good time, he's still got time to pull back those points across the rest of this year, or this season I should say. We're going to do some more seasons of this across the course of 2021, excuse me. Where is Super GT as well, because this is another situation. There he is. He's gone Corvette as well. Quite a sleek design there that he's got with the Team Quadrant colours. Almost looks like a bit of a testing livery almost. I quite like that one. Reverse grid as we say, so the advantage should, apologies, I didn't quite catch who finished in P14. Let me just try and see if I can get that up on the screen or find it back earlier in the replay. No, apologies, not technology's not agreeing with me tonight. Good evening to Paul Stanford. He's just joined in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Paul. Good to have you on board ahead of the second race of the evening. There's Mark Ridout, who will be starting from the middle of the field in this one. Did recover to get a top 10 in the last race, the oval race. It seemed now he's just practicing his starts, which it's a good idea at this stage of the evening. Oh, as I think that was Luke Battersby having a bit of a moment there. The Red Bull Ring, let's talk a little bit about this circuit. Popular one on the daily races, quite regularly picked on the daily races. I imagine we'll be having some FIA action here as well across the course of the next few months. Traditionally a circuit that the Aston Martin Vantage does quite well, and the DBR9 as well. Big power needed to get you up the hill from turn 1 to turn 3, which I still kind of consider turn 2. The kind of slight bend just before it, I don't really consider a corner, so I'm probably going to, in fact, you know what, let's get a proper track map up, because this is a bit of an older circuit and has more imaginative names than turn 1 and turn 2. This of course being the challenge of picking the right car, the all-rounder car across the course of the 4 races where the Group 3 cars will be used by the drivers. We are due any moment now to start or form up into the final. Hello to a new subscriber. Hello to VQS Tarrant, who's clicked the subscribe button here for the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. Thank you very much for doing that, Tarrant. That's a great help to us here on the channel. Hope you're enjoying the racing so far this evening. I should correct myself from last week as well. No mandatory pit stops in this race. There were quite a few pit stops in previous seasons, but the amount of time in the pit lane for a stop has changed quite drastically in recent updates. So everyone in this lobby went for the no stop last week. We'll see if people do that again here at the Red Bull Ring. We are getting ready though for the second race of the evening, round 4 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sports Series season number 3. On pole position is Callum Marshall. Can he overcome the disappointments of the first race by taking his first win of the season? Luke Battersby in his new Corvette alongside on the front row. 30 minutes on the clock here at the Red Bull Ring for our drivers in the Premier class. Revs rising. Got to get this getaway correct if you want to be in a good position into turn 1, and it is a good start from Marshall. Battersby will look to hold on the inside. Dimolo trying to go around the outside as well. He was in a similar position last week. As they all come round turn 1, are they all going to survive? Jack Cameron Drayton's had a good start, is already up into 3rd place. Does look like everyone has made it through turn number 1, but it's Callum Marshall who will lead then on lap 1 as they head up into the heavy braking zone of the Remus curve. Battersby P2, Cameron Drayton P3. Steve Brown Super GT up to 4th place. Sam Dimolo is already unfortunately down into 5th. He was able to hold himself up in the top 3 for a long time last week at Monza. As, oh, big dive down the inside there by Ryan Sandall, who's in the Viper. Apologies, last week I said he was in the Corvette. He wasn't at all. He was in this Viper. He's not changed car. That was a big brave move there. He's knowing he needs to pull his way through this field if he's going to start taking control of this title defence. But Marshall early on, as Philip says in the chat, will be looking to run away with this. He's got a good lead at the end of lap number 1. Through Rint Curve and the Red Bull Mobile Curve, he will lead at the end of lap number 1. Luke Battersby, as we say, in 2nd place with his hazards on at the moment. A couple of penalties to deal with as well. Remember, same rules as last week. If you have a penalty, you are not allowed to overtake another driver. So, Walmud there, Sam Dimolo actually under attack from Ryan Sandall. Ryan Sandall properly on the move here. He is in the mood for overtaking here at the Red Bull Ring this evening. He's already up to 5th place. Oh, everybody tripping over each other a little bit there. I think Callum Brewell had a penalty in the midst of all of that, but Ridout's made his way through quite nicely into 6th place. Kireth Kalirai involved in all of that as well. Down the inside goes Nathan Maximin. He can see his title rival in the blue car starting to pull away, and he's got to get on with this. That was a big move, and he's up to P6. A couple of questions about tyres. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure which tyres all of our drivers are on. Let's try and see if we can get it up on the screen. Yes, it does look like Marshall is on the medium tyre, so that's a good point that you made there, Phil. Let's see if anybody else has gone for a different compound. Okay, so Battersby has gone onto the soft tyre. Cameron Drayton, with a 0.5 second penalty, is also on the soft tyre. Super GT, Steve Brown, he is on softs. Ryan Sandall, softs as well. So in fact, is our leader the only driver? And it's a wise decision if you think you can carry that tyre and you know you're going to have a good track position at the start of the race. Hold everybody up a bit, as here's the battle for 3rd place. Steve Brown trying to go down the inside. Oh my goodness, is Ryan Sandall going to try and make it 3 wide into Schlossgold? No, he's going to pull out of that one in the end, which is probably a wise thing to do. It may well be here that Marshall is the only driver on soft tyres, medium tyres rather. Just scrolling through, Tim Clark is on soft for Brewell, soft for Dowsett, and yes, so the only driver out there on the medium tyre, the tyre with a bit more longevity, is Callum Marshall. Four and a half minutes gone here at the Red Bull Ring of this 30-minute race. See Luke Battersby there in second place. He cannot overtake at the moment because he's got a penalty. Well, he did have a penalty. He's just been able to erode that last little bit of time away. A little bit of a wiggle there for Marshall coming out of the Nicky Lauda curve. He's controlling this race quite nicely. We'll be happy with this. May not necessarily know that everybody else behind him is on the softer tyre, which will be the better race tyre at this stage of the race. It'll start to give a little bit more bite through the corners, a bit more grip, but as we say, will start to fade away. The question is, how long will it take for it to fade away? Cameron Drayton there in third place. Looks like Super GT's had some action with the real penalty simulator. There he is in fifth place. Nathan Maximin in sixth place. So Ryan Sandall has got through, by the way, in his Dodge Viper. Just looking a little bit further back, there's Kireth Kalirai, winner at Monza last week. P7, not a bad position at this stage of the race. Oh, a bit wide there from Trevor Randall. The Jaguars as well still running in this race. 10th for Tim Clark at the moment. There's a penalty out there for Martyn Robinson, 1 second that he's got to get rid of. Callum Brewell will be looking to take advantage of that one in his Corvette. In fact, may have a run into turn one. Let's stay here with Callum Brewell. Can he get the move done on the brakes? Yes, he can. Gets by the Ford Mustang there of Martyn Robinson. And that is him up to 11th place now. As contact 3 wide. Look at this, and this is Marshall now being bullied out the way. Let's have a look what happened there. So this is all running up to Remus curve. So Battersby has already got through, and then everybody else has just ganged up on Marshall there, and down the inside of 2 drivers went Ryan Sandall. Now this really does change the complexion of this race now, because the driver that we were talking about on the medium tyre there, Callum Marshall, is now down in 6th place. He's no longer bottlenecking the 5 runners ahead of him who are all on the soft tyre. Maximin making a move there. I think that's him through and past Cameron Drayton for 4th place. Yeah. Oh, has Cameron Drayton got a big oversteer. That will be one of the easiest moves that Nathan Maximin makes this season. Back on board with Maximin now. Steve Brown, Super GT just ahead of us. Keeping it inside the yellow sausage curb there. Good run here for Nathan Maximin. Is he going to go down the inside of Super GT? He's got a good line down there into the big braking zone of the Remus curve. Textbook manoeuvre by Nathan Maximin. That's him up to 3rd place. But crucially, at the front of the field as well, there's been a change for the lead. Ryan Sandall has got ahead of Luke Battersby. It was a move into Remus curve as well, very similar to the one that we just saw there from Nathan Maximin on Steve Brown. So into the lead, looking for a double win now, is Ryan Sandall. Phil in the comments saying medium's not looking a good choice now if he doesn't get back on the pace. Well, it's still a long way in this race to go, of course. 21.5 minutes. A little bit of tyre wear starting for our front runners. Looks like there's a penalty for Cameron Drayton. Yeah, there he is. 0.4 of a second that he's got to get rid of. And Kireth Kalirai is coming back into this one as well. Winner last week, as we mentioned, at Monza. Kireth Kalirai looking actually to see if he can get a move done on Marshall. I think he's a little bit far back to have a go into turn one, but he'll focus on getting a good exit, tighter line there as well. Yeah, he's going to have a good run here on Callum Marshall. This is a tough period of the race now for Marshall as he's struggling on those medium tyres. They're not giving him the performance that he wants at this stage of the race. Can Kalirai get down the inside? Another textbook manoeuvre into Remus curve, and Ridout's going to have a go as well now at Marshall. Oh, this is all going from bad to worse tonight for Callum Marshall. Had the incident in the first race, fortunately finished at the bottom of the order. Oh, contact between Ridout and Kalirai, and Trevor Randall's knit through all of that, and now Marshall's gone round. Oh, that was really not what we wanted to see at all. Let's have another look at that one. And I think it's going to be Mark Ridout just outbrakes himself into Kalirai, and then Marshall gets hit by Tim Clark in the Jaguar just behind as well. So that really has ruined Callum Marshall's race now. That strategy on the medium tyre needed him to have a completely clean race, and that is not the way to do it. Not his fault, of course. Was caught up in a bit of a melee there in the midfield with different drivers on different levels of pace at the moment. Yeah, I think he's gone all the way down. Well, he's down to 14th. He's stone dead last yet again. This has not been the kind of evening that he would have wanted. Sam Dimolo just pulls out of the way there. He does have quite a lot of penalties to deal with. Back with the leaders though. Sandall ahead of Luke Battersby, and this change of car for Luke Battersby is serving him very, very well this evening. This is just the way that you want to respond to a 15-point deduction for changing Group 3 car choice. And on a similar vein, just behind you see this second duo of Nathan Maximin in third place, fourth for Super GT. Nathan Maximin will be thinking a little bit on championship because he did have a good lead over Ryan Sandall at the end of week number 1. We'll want to maybe be going on a bit of a damage limitation tour tonight. Did a good amount of work in round 3, race number 1 of this evening, finishing second place. Top 3 here, with Sandall being in one of those moods tonight where he is ever dominant. Not necessarily the worst of things, but he's got Steve Brown right on his tail, chasing very, very hard. Still in the first half of this race, of course, 18 minutes of it to go. Jack Drayton there in 5th place now. Our timing tower back for you. Brakes glowing red there for Jack Drayton. In a bit of a lonely spot now. 2 seconds behind Brown, but 2 seconds ahead of Trevor Randall. He's just got to keep doing what he knows best. Make no mistakes. Doesn't want to fall into the clutches in terms of slipstream of Trevor Randall. Let's look a little bit further back, see where some of our battles are. Here's one over 9th place, Tim Clark in the Jaguar, just ahead of Callum Brewell. It looks like RaceDreamerRob, Rob Dowsett, in close proximity as well. Hasn't quite been the night that Brewell would have wanted, having got pole position for the race around Blue Moon Bay. It's not quite converted so far into race results. Still a long way in this one to go, and of course we're still remaining to see, will anybody go for a pit stop tonight? The pit lane is, well, time in pit lane is a lot longer now. Well, it used to be around 10 to 15 seconds. The difference in lap time for the drivers is still quite big. Let's try and actually see what the lap times are like at the moment. There's Tim Clark's lap times. 128.9 currently his best. looks like some progress has been made by Marshall, which is good to see. He's back up to 12th place. He's got ahead of Martyn Robinson. Actually judging now, how far back is Marshall relative to the rest of the order? It's currently 15 seconds, so he is within the range of those at the front of the field should they pit. Should being the optimum word though at this stage of the race. Penalty to deal with for Nathan Maximin. Half a second of penalty. Remember, he cannot overtake. He must not overtake Luke Battersby with that penalty against his car. So he will just sit in the tow. Yeah, you can see he's just got rid of it. In fact, he's got rid of all of it there. That's good work there from Nathan Maximin. 14.5 minutes to go then. Battle going on for second place between Luke Battersby, first week for him in the Corvette, against Nathan Maximin, who used this car at Monza last week. Suited his style, was very much in the fight for that second place. There was some discussion in the paddock, the virtual paddock after the race, that some of the tactics of the front runners were slightly off last week. If they'd worked together a little bit more, they could have caught Kalirai earlier. In the end, he won by about a second and a half. He didn't do anything wrong, of course. He kept his eyes forward and got the win. This Corvette, clearly a very, very quick car. Even more so in the hands of some of these top drivers, some of the fastest drivers on Gran Turismo Sport from the UK, racing in Club 100 of course as well. Looking forward to the Club 100 season getting underway in April. Keep an eye out on the Double Dash Motorsport media. In fact, up the inside, is Maximin going to go for the move here? We've seen him do this before, and that is another very clean overtake by Nathan Maximin, and he's up to second place. Let's have another look at that one. Oh, apologies. Didn't quite get that one in on the replay monitor, but that is Maximin up to second place. Now, can he pull that 1.7 seconds back to Ryan Sandall? Very evenly matched drivers, these two. Ryan Sandall continuing to lead this race. Controlled the first race around the oval very, very well. He's doing so far a very similar job here in Austria. Oh, now why am I seeing Super GT down in 6th place? Has something happened to Super GT? Well, it must have happened quite a while ago, because he's down into 6th place already as they come through the S's, but that's a shame for Steve Brown. Apologies, we missed that. He's lost 2 positions to Jack Cameron Drayton, his teammate, and Trevor Randall. Is now into the clutches of Kireth Kalirai. I don't think he's pitted. Apologies, just as I try and get the data up on screen. No, he's definitely not pitted with the state those tyres are in, so something must have happened to Steve Brown. I think he is really struggling on his tyres at the moment, because Kireth Kalirai is all over the rear bumper of the black Corvette. And the Jaguar closing in as well. Tim Clark, who needs a good result this week. He had an incident on lap number 1 at Monza last week. So seeing him there on the brinks of the top half is very, very good news for the yellow team. Good evening to Race Asylum. Great to have you on board. Hope you're enjoying your evening. 11 minutes of this one to go. Let's just have another look back to see how Marshall's getting on those medium tyres. does look, I think he's closing in. Yeah, he's starting to close back in on some of those midfield runners. Now the gap to the leader is still growing because it's out beyond 17 seconds now. Last time we checked, I think it was around 13, 14 seconds. Callum Marshall's not out of this in terms of getting some good points. It's up the inside there. Goes RaceDreamerRob. Good move by Rob Dowsett. That's on Mark Ridout. They're going to be side by side now as they come off of Niki Lauda curve. They're running up to Remus now. Still side by side. All the power in the world. America versus Great Britain as they head up into the Remus curve. Still on the inside is Rob Dowsett, and this time has he got the move? No, he's still not got it done because Ridout's going to have a good run off the corner. Here comes Cal now in the number 4. He's going to have a piece of the action. Dowsett to the inside. Oh, and now breaks himself. I think there was a bit of contact there with Ridout as well. Ridout gets back through. Let's have another little look at that one, that sequence of play. On board with Ridout. And is there a little bit of contact here? Oh, yes, there is. There is a little bit of contact. More than a little bit of contact, in fact, with the rear bumper of Dowsett's Jaguar. There's your leader, Ryan Sandall. He's being caught, though. Definitely being caught by Nathan Maximin. The lead is down to under a second and a half. So the race is on at the front of this field. Luke Battersby has a half-second penalty that he needs to deal with. Jack Cameron Drayton in 4th place, now having a fight with Trevor Randall. Let's stay with this one. Cameron Drayton to the inside. We've seen many, many fights. So, oh, that's a beautiful cutback by Trevor Randall. He's got the move done. That was memories of Schumacher Montoya there for a moment. I think Cameron Drayton had a little bit of penalty that he was getting rid of, but that was beautifully done by Trevor Randall. But here comes Jack Cameron Drayton back down the inside. Oh, big send and a big oversteer on the exit as well for Trevor Randall. He's got the move done again. He's got back into 4th place. Let's have another look at that one. That was fantastic here. Going on board with Cameron Drayton, who just slings it down the inside. It was a really good attempt at fighting back there by the BUKC racer. But the experience of Trevor Randall, a multiple Club 100 sprint class champion, won out there, and he has got 4th place. Cutting back to Super GT. Still has the attentions of Kireth Kalirai just behind him. Thank you to those who've clicked the subscribe button tonight. Streamlabs sometimes tells us who you are. Apologies if it hasn't tonight, but thank you all the same for getting involved. Hope you're enjoying the racing. Super GT having a better time of it than last week. He really had a hard time with the Peugeot RCZ. Switched out of that car, of course, taking the 15-point penalty. Was running around in 8th or 9th place last week, so a few positions higher up this week at the Red Bull Ring. But very close behind is a buoyant and in-form Kireth Kalirai. Was pleasantly surprised of the win, or about the win last week. It was very well deserved. An intricately put together race. Didn't panic, didn't fall under the pressure of leading such a race. It seems to have given him a lot of confidence. Battle further back, and yes, here we see Callum Marshall trying to pick up some positions now. He needs to clear the likes of Ridout and Dowsett, and he's going to have a chance here because the Jaguar was wide. In fact, he's got the move done already before they had a cross start finish. So that's another position for the recovering Callum Marshall. Looks like Brewell's having a look down the inside into Niki Lauda curve now on RaceDreamerRob. Let's go on board with Callum Marshall. Remember, he's the only driver on the medium tyre. He's had some incidents, hence where he is. Just trying to recover now, and I think he's got the move done around the outside there. Very nicely done, and that is another position. That's him back up to 9th place. Still a good bit of time to go as well, so he could, if he can get the hammer down. Let's have a little look at the tyres. How are the tyres doing? Okay, there's a little bit of wear on them. That's to be expected. It's been a long race, but he's still got some meat underneath him on those mediums. Could be a factor later in this race. Tim Clark, 8th place at the moment for him, just sat behind Kireth Kalirai. Maybe at this stage of the race these three are not trying to fight too hard, in the hope that they can close in to Jack Cameron Drayton in the last lap or so. Back with the leaders though. Ryan Sandall starting to feel the pressure from Nathan Maximin. Gap down to less than half a second. Both drivers pushing very, very hard. 1:27.660 still the time, or the fastest time of the race by Sandall, which was set very, very early in the race when the tyres were all fresh. Lap time last time around was a 1:28.9, so the tyres are holding on at a decent level here. They've not dipped to 2.5–3 seconds off the pace, so that will be pleasing for those that have gone with the soft tyre tonight. Steve has been spun out at turn 3, I'm hearing in the chat. Let's try and find him out there on circuit. Well, here's a shot with Kireth Kalirai. Is this where we're going to see the incident for Super GT? Does Kireth get onto the brakes too hard? No, Steve seems okay through that part of the course. So maybe it's a little bit later on that Steve's had a problem out there. That may have been actually the incident earlier in the race. Oh no, apologies. He has had a problem recently. Replay camera's not quite caught it, but that's not gone well for Super GT tonight. He is now down in 11th place. Battle for the lead though. Ryan Sandall under pressure now once again from Nathan Maximin, having to defend with 2.5 minutes to go. These are the two drivers at the top of the standings at this stage of the season. Have been 1 and 2 in previous seasons as well. They're doing it again here in the 3rd season at the Red Bull Ring. But Nathan Maximin won the O-plate. Trying to go around the outside. That's a brave place to try and overtake into the rint curve. Oh, he gives him a little bit of a nudge. The two American behemoths at the moment. He's underneath him as he's coming through the last corner. He is through. He's into the lead. 2 minutes to go. And a penalty now. Oh, a penalty for Ryan Sandall that he's going to have to get rid of before the end of the race. Oh, he's pushed really hard. He's gone out beyond track limits again. That might be more penalties if Sandall's not careful. But Nathan Maximin, it was a forceful move. Let's see if we can have a look back at it. No, we've just missed it, unfortunately, on the replay camera. Apologies. 1.6 seconds is the gap now for Maximin ahead of Ruzzwald, who's still got 0.3 of a second on his penalty counter. Nathan Maximin in this form looking very, very good to extend his, or at least retain his championship lead as it is over Ryan Sandall tonight. He'll take a big chunk of points over Callum Marshall, who's had a lot of problems this evening for rounds 3 and 4. a little bit further back. Are there any other close battles out there? Here's a close battle. 4th place, Trevor, Randall and Jack Cameron Drayton. Jack Cameron Drayton, who was looking for a big result here this evening, is currently on for a top 5. This would be a fantastic result for Jack. What is their gap like to Kireth Kalirai, who is currently in 6th place? Look, 7th place now for Callum Marshall, so he's got past Brewell, Ridout, and of course Steve Brown, who's had his problems out there this evening. We are going to be surely on to the last lap of the race then, with less than 10 seconds to go on the clock. And what has happened to Ryan Sandall? He's fallen into the clutches now of Luke Battersby. This could be a fight for 2nd place on the last lap of the race. Confirmed on the top left that this is the final lap now. Nathan Maximin, you would think, is going to win this race, but Ryan Sandall, who seemed in total control some 3 or 4 laps ago, may not even finish P2 here. This has been a great run from Luke Battersby, who's streaming his point of view as well. Can he get one over on the 2-time champion? We've got a few corners to go. It's a bit more difficult to overtake in this part of the course, but we've seen it happen in Formula 1, of course, with some of Lando Norris's heroics in recent times. But talking of heroics, what a set of races again from Nathan Maximin. He's not had the clean sweep so far this season, but first, second, first will do very nicely at the midway point of the season. Nathan Maximin takes round 4. 2nd place goes to Ryan Sandall there. 3rd and a 1st ever podium for Luke Battersby. Very well deserved, and it's a good race for Team Purple. Purple sector 3rd and 4th with Trevor Randall there in 4th. 5th for Jack Cameron Drayton. 6th for Kireth Kalirai. 7th in the end for a recovering Callum Marshall. And look at this towards the end of the line. 8th for Brewell. 9th for Ridout. 10th for Brown. 11th for Tim Clark. And just cutting back there to see Dowsett in 12th, Dimolo in 13th and Robinson in 14th. What a race. But your winner for the 2nd time this season, he won round 1 and now he's taken round 4 as well. It is for Team Orange, Nathan Maximin. Well, a very, very enjoyable race there, and well done to Nathan Maximin on taking another win. And we'll of course tally up all the points and put them out later, but that's going to put him in a very, very strong position for the course of the season. As we say, the next set of rounds that we've got next week, what is it going to be? The 23rd of March, we've got Sardinia and Lasart as well. The race round Le Mans will be very interesting as well. Kind of similar maybe to how we saw with the oval race tonight. A lot of slipstreaming, a lot of trying to keep yourself in a good position towards the end of the race and seeing if you can make the tyres last. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Hello to Paul again. Ryan won't make it easy though. It looks like Ryan's tyres must have hit the cliff. Yeah, it does look like that he used up his tyres a little bit too much, but was able to hold on for 2nd place at least. I do hope you enjoyed the race. If you did enjoy the race and you've not clicked the like button already, go on, click that little like button. It really does help us out. And if you'd like to subscribe as well, as we say, we've got a lot of action coming up over the next few weeks here on the channel. If you weren't here earlier, let's actually give a little bit of a reminder of what is coming up on the channel. Next week, as we say, we are back for rounds 5 and 6 of this championship, the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series. The following night, Wednesday night, we've got the next round of our Legends of Club 100 and BUKC Championship. Round 3 will be at Laguna Seca. Then the following, well, actually going on to the weekend then, we've got the iRacing special event, the Sebring 12 Hours. And then the following week as well, to wrap out March, you've got another double header of commentated sim racing esports action with the finale of this 3rd season of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sports Series on the 30th of March. And then round 4 of the iRacing Legends of Club 100 and BUKC. That one very much looking forward to that one. We'll be at Hockenheim for what will be the first time that we've used Hockenheim in that series, as it's a new circuit on the iRacing simulator that's just come out. Apologies, I'm pressing buttons all around at my end of things just as we come to the end of the stream. Nathan Maximin, good race, he says in the chat. Just a bit, Nathan. That was, I say, second win of the season for yourself. And all of that to look forward to, as I say, here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel in the weeks to come. Right. I think that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's action. Congratulations to our winners this evening. If you've not seen the Clubman lobby as well, do go and check the Clubman lobby out over on DW Commentary. As I say, you've got points of views on Luke Battersby's channel and Kireth Kalirai, and no doubt there'll be a video coming out from Steve in due course as well. So we're going to wrap things up there. But just before we do, I did want to have a very, very quick couple of words. Couldn't finish tonight without saying a few words about the news over the weekend, that we lost, sadly, the greatest motorsport commentator of all time, in my opinion, at the ripe old age of 97 years. What a life Murray Walker lived. For a lot of people, he was the voice of motorsport. For people, I think, who knew him and looked up to him, he was a lot more than that. Here are just some of the things that, as I was, just reading through Murray's life again over the weekend, that he achieved. He was an author, he was an advertising professional, a motorbike racer. A lot of people forget that he raced himself to a quite high level in the early days of the motorsport world. He rode the TT, for example. He was a captain of the British Army in World War II. A lot of people forget about that. He was a cancer survivor as well, and a husband to Elizabeth for over 65 years. Before we even get on to, him being the voice to millions and millions of people of hill climbing, motorbike racing, rallycross. He was there at the very start of rallycross. Touring cars, I remember, getting into the BTCC through Murray's commentary on the BBC, and of course Formula One. What I want to wrap up tonight, though, is kind of what Murray was to me personally, and I only need two words. He always has been and always will be my hero, and that's how we're going to finish things off tonight. Just saying thank you to Murray Walker. Thank you for living such an amazing life. Thank you for sharing it with us, and we will miss you dearly. Good night, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Murray, and race in peace.